You ever went on a mission that went left and you had to toss your mans out the whip because he got his wig splat? That's what the Fulton County prosecutor said YfN Lucci did. Since this case is now over and Thug and almost all them guys are home, we can talk about the details. Y'all already know what time it is. It's on Now TV. Let's get to it. In the early 2000s, the down south wave was on the horizon, especially in the city of Atlanta, which was making a huge buzz with artists like Outkast, T.I., Jeezy, and Gucci Mane. They laid a blueprint, but a new wave of young guns were coming out. Future, Migos, Young SCUTI. But for this piece, I'ma focus on rich homie Quan, Young Thug, YfN Lucci, and Lil Baby. All four household names who came from the same streets but took four different paths to greatness. This is a story of how their lives all intertwined and shifted for the worse, which allegedly caused a whole war in the city of Atlanta.
My name is Quan. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I would say the best thing about my city is we breathe music.
The Quantes Devontae Lamar, professionally known as Rich Homie Quan, was the first to get popping out of all four of them. Before rap, Rich Homie Quan had baseball dreams. As a kid, he wasn't chasing rap. He was hitting home runs as a star athlete, playing baseball at Ronald McNair High School. College scouts came calling, but he ended up dropping out because of tuition costs. So when the dreams of pro ball faded, reality hit harder. Soon after, he got caught up in a few burglaries that eventually led him to spending 15 months behind bars. When he got out, he picked up a mic, not to be famous, but to tell his truth. In 2012, he dropped I Go In on every song. The streets paid attention, but in 2013, everything changed. Still Going In dropped, and the track, Type of Way, turned a local kid into a national name. He wasn't just another rapper out of Atlanta. He had emotion, pain in his voice, and melody in his delivery.
My nigga been hustling, trying to make him something. Ain't no telling what he'll do for the paper. Ain't no telling.
A new sound was being born, trap mixed with soul, and Rich Homie Quan was at the forefront of it. On or around the same time Quan was getting popular, there was another rapper named Jeffrey Williams on the horizon who goes by the moniker Young Thug. Born on August 16th, 1991 in the South Atlanta Silver Hills neighborhood. Young Thug was the 10th of 11 children. One of his brothers was shot to death while Thug was in elementary school, and another was serving a life term for murder at the time when he was coming up. Thug was a bad little boy to say the least. He was kicked out of middle school for breaking his teacher's arm, and he spent 4 years in juvenile detention program as a result of that. Somewhere along the line, he figured out he had a special skill and talent while watching the likes of Lil Wayne at the time. He began his musical career somewhere around 2010.
I got a ball hard, you can call me the shot.
He released his first mixtape in 2011, I Came From Nothing, the first series, and the second in 2012, which caught the ears of Gucci Mane, who was supposed to sign into his label 1017 Brick Squad in 2013.
1017 for them bands, we go hunt your base.
I'm not too sure if the deal was official, but he started rocking with Gucci. In July of that year, Complex included him in their list of 25 new rappers to watch out for.
See your sets right now, my nigga Quan, making history as always. You know they go, man.
In 2013 is where Thug and Quan both connected, as they were both on the up and up in the Atlanta music scene. They both were featured on the song Chasing Paper off of Gucci Mane's Trap House 3 album. Quan was on 2 other songs on that Gucci album. Thug released his first project on Gucci's label, which was his 4th mixtape called 1017 Thug. In August of 2013, Rich Homie Quan's song Type of Way was released to iTunes by Def Jam Records, but he was still independent and was considering signing a deal with Cash Money Records, specifically Baby. Baby had Wayne, who was super popping at the time, and Wayne had the Young Money crew, Drake and Nicki, who were also killing shit. Most of the new up-and-coming rappers were basically inspired by Wayne's run. Birdman was trying to recreate the success he had with Wayne and Young Money, so he started keeping an eye out for all the new talents coming out. In October of 2013, Thug drops his commercial debut single, Stoner, that started taking off. He already got Danny Glover going off too on the airwaves. Quan follows up with his mixtape called I Promise I Would Never Stop Going in November of 2013 with single Walk Through. Michigan State football team took on the song Type of Way as their anthem, so the momentum was steadily going up. He also had Thug as a feature on his song Get Out My Face.
And I got my nigga Thug, and he gonna say you get the fuck out my face. Get the fuck out my face.
The next year, in February of 2014, we started seeing Thug around Birdman. Birdman was putting together his Rich Gang group, which was supposed to be both Thug and Quan. Although they didn't officially sign to Birdman, they dropped a track called Lifestyle in May of 2014. It didn't really get noticed till later on in that year when they dropped their first mixtape, Rich Gang The Tour Part 1. Thug started working on his debut album, and he stated it will be titled Carter 6, referencing his highly acclaimed Lil Wayne The Carter album series. But Thug never really got the acknowledgement or support from Wayne, who he had looked up to and often imitated. The December 14, 2014 issue of Rolling Stones called Thug the most exciting new voice of hip-hop and hip-hop's new crown prince. That same year in 2014, there was another star on the horizon, also from the city of Atlanta. That was Rayshawn Lamar Bennett, also known as YfN Lucci. He signed a record deal with Thinkers of Game Entertainment in December of 2014 and released his first debut mixtape, Wish Me Well. He was being managed by a guy named Donovan Thomas, aka Big Nut. Nut was active in the streets, and he was also in the music industry, managing other artists, including Rich Homie Quan. Big Nut was playing middleman, basically trying to sort out Rich Homie Quan's situation so he can get a good deal with Birdman, since Birdman been showing heavy interest in both Quan and Young Thug. Nut was even flown out to meet Birdman, and Thug introduces him to the world.
I got one of the biggest bloods in America with me, my nigga. You did. Atlanta, Georgia, nigga. That's where we from. You hear what I'm trying to tell you? Today we going.
Somewhere along the lines, something happened that caused their relationship to go sour. It has been speculated that Nut was preventing Quan from signing with Rich Gang, and he perhaps disrespected Birdman by that move. Some said Nut put his hands on Thug's sister. Both rumors I cannot 100% confirm the accuracy of, but that's what people have always speculated happened. On January 10th of 2015, Donovan Thomas, aka Big Nut, was shot and killed in a drive-by shooting outside of a barbershop parking lot in the Castleberry Hill neighborhood. This incident set off a chain of events that will forever change the lives of many and haunt the city till date.
We begin tonight with a developing story. Atlanta police are on the scene of a triple shooting, and one of the victims is a teenager. The shooting happened outside a barber shop, and tonight one victim is clinging to life.
Atlanta police are investigating why two men in their mid-20s and a 14-year-old boy were shot outside of a barber shop in southwest Atlanta Saturday night. Investigators say it appears to have been a drive-by shooting, and according to several witnesses we spoke with, an automatic weapon was used.
Behind the scenes and unknown to the public at the time, police had a description of the vehicle used in the drive-by. Through their investigations, they were able to identify an individual named Kenneth Copeland, also known as YSL Woody, as a person of interest since he was last seen in that vehicle. Woody gets interrogated, and he then implicates Young Thug as being the one who rented the vehicle.
So who's in the car that's supposed to get the driver out on Peanut? This was Ladeep broke the story down. He said, I tried to send AD out the Thug house. I had went home with my baby mom. And then Thug left and was rolled past Nut and seen him and went to a gas station and seen Yak and his pump. So they got the guns. I think they had 2 guns. A chopper and a handgun. They got the guns and put it in the car. And this event rolled off in the car. Do you know what kind of car it was? Like, it was an Infiniti, I think. The Infiniti? Yeah. Like a new one? Do you know, was it somebody's registered car or was it a rental? It was a rental car. So you went with Thug when he rented the Infiniti? Yeah. He took part of it back and got the Infiniti.
He also mentions that Big Nut's brother, Kel, had jumped on him and tried to rob him in a club a few days prior.
Me and Kel, you know what I'm saying? Me and him, we had a problem in the club. Is that him? No, this Nut. Okay. Kel, they say this the little brother, but I thought they would just change that, but they say they real brothers. We in the club. I seen Kel outside. So I'm like, hey Kel, how did you? So, as me and Kel standing right there, we talking. But it's like, it's over, we ain't beefing no more. So, Kel like, right, but he want to talk to Thug and see what Thug has to do with it. So, like, man, Thug ain't standing there jump up, you know what I'm saying? He ain't into this. So, he's like, how you want to talk? So, him and Thug talk. Whatever said there, I don't know. Next thing you know, Monday come, I'm in Kush. As I go to Kush, I pull out my money. I'm on stage, I'm flashing my money to all the girls standing around. I'm flashing money. So I get on the stage, I'm flashing money. Kel, and this whole walk up on me. So I look at him, he's like, what's up, bro? I'm like, what's going on, y'all? And he ain't saying that. So he just looked at me. So I'm still flashing money. I'm laughing, I'm playing with everybody. So he's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, what's up, bro? He's like, Thug still want me to pay for the window. Like, I guess so, bro. But he in the club. Like, go talk to him. You know what I'm saying? So Kel, like, he took his necklace. He put his necklace inside. So I look at him. I put money in my pocket. So when I put money in my pocket, I walk out. You know what I mean? I walk over here. I look at him. So he turned around. He tells somebody something in the ear. So I walk towards the kitchen. When I walk towards the kitchen, all of them walks behind. I was by myself. So when I get to the kitchen, I see everybody walk behind. I try to turn around and go back to the stage. Kel punched me in the back of the head. So he punched me in the back of the head. They pushed me to the ground. He tried to go in my pocket and get my money. But as I hold on to my money, the other guy punched me all in the face. But I didn't care. I was holding on to the money.
He gave a lot of details that was enough for police to start building a case on YSL and Young Thug, and they were trying to solve Big Nut's homicide. On February 19th of 2015, 6 weeks after the murder, Woody was shot at with his baby mother. He shot back, which saved his life. He was initially charged with murder at the time, but since he started cooperating, they dropped it for something bigger down the line. He was charged with weapons possession afterwards for some other guns he was caught with and ends up going to federal prison for 5 years. He had already given prosecutors as much clues as possible, but Young Thug was never charged or implicated for some years down the line. We'll get to that later on. After Nut's murder, Quan and Thug once a duo as Rich Gang was now over because Quan started wanting to separate himself. At a live show in March of 2015, Young Thug publicly dissed Quan, shouting, "Fuck Rich Homie Quan."
Hey, fuck Rich Homie. Fuck Rich Homie.
And calling him Bitch Homie Quan. Apparently upset over Rich Gang's breakup, Quan responded publicly on social media, later confirming on a radio show that he had stepped away from Rich Gang a little bit. Thug was also doing some questionable activities, wearing dresses and makeup for shock value. Whatever the purpose of that was, it worked because that was a topic of discussion at the time. Some even questioned his sexuality, since he's from Atlanta, a city known for its pride population. Thug also started feeling the resentment from Wayne, who was going through his public feud with Birdman over some money being owed to him. Also the fact that Thug had named his up-and-coming album The Bar to Six, which was similar to Lil Wayne's Carter series. That didn't quite help mend the relationship. Also, none of the Young Money crew was giving them features. So that was the direct, we don't fuck with you statement. Lil Wayne's tour bus ends up getting shot at on April 26, 2015. The shooting occurred early Sunday morning around 3:30 a.m. It happened on Highway I-285 near Atlanta, following a performance at Compound Nightclub. A couple of the tour buses were shot at multiple times in a drive-by shooting. Luckily, no one was injured. Witnesses reported seeing two white vehicles, possibly a Corvette and an SUV, leaving the scene. The shooter was later identified as Jimmy Pee Wee Roscoe, an associate of Young Thug. Birdman actually got questioned for that shooting, since it was public that he was feuding with Wayne. Pee Wee pled guilty to 6 counts in violation of a Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act as part of a plea deal. He was handed a 20-year sentence, including 10 years to serve in prison, but luckily for him, he was released in 2020 due to efforts to lower prison population during the early days of the pandemic. In February of 2016, YfN Lucci started trending on Twitter after dropping his second mixtape, Wish Me Well 2. The first official single was Key to the Streets, featuring Migos and Trouble. It was Lucci's first breakthrough hit, charting on the Billboard Hot 100. The song put him on a national radar and became a street anthem across the South. It also helped solidify his melodic, pain-driven style and open up doors for future collaborations. He also took some jabs towards Thug on Twitter, alluding to having been hanging around Thug's fiance at the time, Jerica. I know you miss laying on that sofa with me, girl. #Rika, he tweeted. Thug responded with a since-deleted Instagram picture of Carly in a series of tweets that claimed Lucci was only trying to agitate him in order to gain more recognition for himself. You just trying to get on. If any up-and-coming rapper want to be put on, let's make music.
I got shot up.
Then we started hearing about 2 shootings at YfN Lucci's mother's house on January 22nd, and on the 26th, Lucci's mom and her friend were hit the second time around in their legs while laying in their bed. This info wasn't widely known publicly, but since their online feud is out there now, people are starting to make some connections.
He say it happened again. That's how he say I know what he was talking about though. We hop out, we come over here. Jew was in here, my big brother Jew. Juju was in here, my baby mama, and my little girl and my mama and her friend. And both of them got shot though, my mama and her friend. Her room right here though. So that's how she got shot, really. They was shooting, boom, boom. They was in the bed, both of them got hit in the leg. They good though, they walked right up out the hospital.
In September of 2016, Lucci, along with Migos, 21 Savage, Cap G, Young Dolph, and Zaytoven were featured on the cover of Rolling Out Magazine's Hip Hop Hidden Gem of Summer 16 issue. Things were on the up and up for YfN Lucci, and so was the back and forth jabs online between him and Thug. Thug kept getting popular, and he had a Gunna to his label in 2016, although it wasn't official on paper till the next year in 2017. In 2017, another rapper started to emerge from the streets of Atlanta. That was Dominic Armani Jones, also known as Lil Baby. He had just been released from prison after serving 2 years for weed distribution charges. At the age of 17, Lil Baby was a regular presence in the studio of Quality Control Records. He was allegedly the one who used to serve him there. The label founder, Kevin, aka Coach K, encouraged them to become a rapper, as he felt Baby had the swag, the lingo, and the respect around the city.
One of my bros, Ralo, he like, man, you might as well rap, you got it. Ooh. Then also Coach K, like for years, like 6 years or something, he been on my ass, like, you need to rap, you got the swag, you got the image, you got the story, just rap, just rap, just rap. So I really never took it serious. And one time me and Ralo had a long conversation, and he like, I'm telling you, just do it. Then one day I just like, I'm going to the studio. Yeah. Shit, been on ever since.
Fellow rappers like Young Thug and Gunna also helped as Baby's mentors in developing the style.
Like, that's one of my partners, you know what I'm saying? Before the rap too, like, we from like same neighborhood, same high school, stuff like that.
They dropped Yeah Okay in early 2017, with all three of them sounding the same. Okay. It was a smash hit though. People loved it, and the world was now introduced to Lil Baby.
I just got out of prison not too long ago, and I got out at the perfect time, started rapping at the perfect time. I came in the game at the perfect time. Like for Atlanta right now, kind of like Atlanta up for grabs. Like it's the perfect time for me to get in there and grab it.
Baby drops his Harder Than Hard mixtape, which took off for the year. In April of 2017, Lucci released his debut EP, Long Live Nut, in honor of his fallen friend and manager, Big Nut, featuring guest appearances from Rick Ross, PNB Rock, Lil Durk, and Boosie. The project was fire, and he debuted at number 27 on the Billboard 200. The lead single from the project, Every Day We Lit, featuring PNB Rock, is peaked at number 33 on the Billboard 100. Lucci and Thug continue to trade jabs online. In June of 2017, Thug released his album, Easy Breezy Beautiful Thugger Girls, on June 16th, which was also on Tupac's birthday. He tweeted that he chose this date because he considers himself the new Pac and feels he's fulfilling Tupac's unfinished legacy. I dropped Easy Breezy Beautiful Thugger Girls on Tupac's birthday because I'm the new Tupac. I feel like I'm the thug he didn't get to become. Hashtag, so I'm gonna finish what he started. Lucci and Thug continue to trade jabs online. On June 18th, 2017, Thug and Lucci tweeted out a subliminal message saying, "Thank God you're able to take care of your mama and be humble. Doing too much can become a deep sleep." On March 19th of 2018, Lucci released his first studio album, titled Ray Ray from Summerhill. He also started dating Lil Wayne's daughter, Reginae Carter, so that was more reason to hate Thug, since his guy Pee-wee was the one charged with shooting Lil Wayne's tour bus. Lil Baby went crazy that year in 2018. He dropped his debut album, Harder Than Hard, that went even crazier. He followed up with a collaborative mixtape, Drip Harder, with Gunna.
Drip too hard, don't stand too close, you gon' fuck around and drown off this way.
The lead single, Drip Too Hard, went on to become certified diamond. So you can see Baby was heavily aligned with the Young Thug camp. In February of 2019, a video for a feature on a song named 12 Days Lucci did with Fatboy SSC drops. In the video, you can see a red G-Wagon with black wheels. On May 10th of 2019, after Young Thug performed at Live nightclub in Miami, him and his team were shot at while traveling back to their hotel on 2 party buses. 3 people were injured, luckily none fatal. 4 days later, that G-Wagon that Lucci had in the Fatboy SSC video ends up getting shot up in Atlanta. On May 15th, Lucci wasn't driving. The driver was hit, but he also survived. Things cooled down a bit in the public eye, or so it seemed. Fast forward to August of 2020, Yak Gotti, a member of the YSL crew, posted a picture on Instagram of him standing on YfN Lucci's car at the Lenox Mall.
You ain't say nothing in the mall, you want to shake your head.
YfN Lucci responds. Sometime after that, Thug drops Bad Boy with Juice WRLD, where he said a line that will eventually come back to haunt him.
I said
that his money, now he no longer mention me.
On December 10th, 2020, at around 5:20 p.m., officers were dispatched at 978 Peoples Street in reference to a person shot call. Upon arrival, officers located 28-year-old James Adam laying in the street with gunshot wound to the head. A short time later, a second victim, 32-year-old Kevin Wright, arrived by private vehicle. Mr. Wright suffered a gunshot wound to the abdomen and subsequently survived his injuries. Keep in mind, this was done in broad daylight in a very flashy vehicle. A few weeks later, police issued a bulletin asking the public's help in finding YfN Lucci, as he was identified as the guy behind the wheel of the Maybach truck. Apparently, the guys that they were shooting at were affiliated with Lil Baby. The guy that was shot, Kevin Wright, is 4PF Mohawk. It would appear that through affiliations and working relationships with Young Thug, Lil Baby and his crew had possibly inherited their beef. Lucci turned himself in shortly after the news broke. Prosecutors were accusing him of allegedly throwing his own guy out the car after he was shot in the head during a drive-by shooting. He was initially charged with felony murder, aggravated assault, racketeering, and participating in gang activities. The murder charges stem from the fact that a murder occurred while he was committing a felony. So if you go rob someone or go put in work with your guys, and if one of y'all get killed on that mission, every one of y'all could be charged with murder. Lucci was denied bail, and he has to remain behind bars till his trial proceedings are over. He ends up getting into it and stabbed by a fellow inmate on February of 2022 in Fulton County Jail. A few months go by, and then Young Thug gets indicted under the Georgia RICO Act on May 9th of 2022, along with other YSL members, including Gunna. All the pieces are now starting to come together.
This indictment is significant because it targets 28 people who decided to become involved in a criminal street gang and really do havoc in our community. YSL is an acronym for Young Slime Life, and it is a hybrid gang that operates here in Atlanta, and it's an affiliate of the Blood Gang.
The indictment alleges a variety of crimes, including, from our reading, 3 murders, including that of Donovan Thomas.
It's extremely significant. It occurred back in 2015, and what myself and any law enforcement member can tell you, as a result of that, the back and forth gun violence and murders that have occurred have probably been in excess of 50 since 2015.
Now, more information into why Lucci was possibly stabbed gets brought to light. 2 other YSL members behind bars were trying to get the green light from Thug to stab Lucci again. In addition to the YfN Lucci allegations, prosecutors have also accused Young Thug of renting that 2014 Infiniti Q50 that was used in the commission of the murder of Donovan Thomas, aka Big Nut, in January 2015. The YSL trial officially began on January 4th, 2023. That trial was highly publicized, and the DA was hoping for a slam dunk case since they had a cooperating witness by the name YSL Woody, who had already laid out everything in the interrogation room since the murder occurred. As a matter of fact, Woody had been a CI for some time now. He basically implicated everyone, including Thug. As the trial went on, the main witness, Woody, recanted his story once he was given immunity for his testimony. He basically made a mockery of Fulton County because their case fell flat on their faces. Everybody basically walked. Gunna was one of the first to take an alpha plea deal that included his admittance of being a part of the YSL gang, exactly what they charged him with, 1 count of racketeering. He was sentenced to 5 years, but 1 year was commuted to time served for the months he had spent behind bars, and the remaining 4 years was suspended and subject to community service. He was released from jail that same day after entering that plea deal on December 14th, 2022. The whole world got on his ass because that plea deal was videotaped with him admitting to his charge of being part of the YSL and YSL being a gang.
Yes, ma'am. YSL is a music label and a gang, and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance of the gang. Yes, ma'am.
On October 31st of 2024, Thug accepted a non-negotiated, aka blind plea deal, pleading guilty to multiple charges, 3 drug counts, 2 weapons counts, and 1 gang activity charge. He also entered a non-contest plea to racketeering conspiracy and leading a criminal street gang.
I take full responsibility for, my crimes or my charges. I want to say sorry to my family, my mom. My mom got 11 kids.
This came roughly 3 years after his arrest in May of 2022, during what's been called Georgia's longest criminal trial. That whole trial was a joke. Woody was playing with the state the whole time. Somebody even tried to serve Thug a perk in court. That's how crazy he was. In summary, here is a list of some of the defendants and their sentencing timeline. If you see, most of them got a lot of plea deals. Only probably like 1 or 2 or 3 took it to trial. But most of them took a plea deal. But Gunna was the only one accused of telling, even though we watched with our own 2 eyes and saw who the real teller was, which was Woody. But leave it up to the people, Gunna told.
Yes, ma'am.
Thug got a 20-year probation, something ridiculous. Lucci, on the other hand, on January 23, 2024, pled guilty to a single count of violating Georgia Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act. In exchange, prosecutors dismissed 12 of the 13 charges, including murder and racketeering. He got a 20-year sentence, comprising of a 10-year prison sentence and 10 years of probation. Prosecutors agreed not to oppose parole for Lucci, which he was eligible for, and he was released on parole on January 31st of 2025 after nearly 4 years of incarceration. Gunna came home and dropped 2 tapes back to back, which were highly successful, even though he had been labeled a rat. Thug had been distancing himself from him and had speculated as throwing subliminals at Gunna. Unfortunately, Rich Homie Quan passed away in September of 2024 from an accidental drug overdose. Fast forward to today, Lil Baby recently brought out YfN Lucci to perform on stage with him, showing signs of peace talks. Imagine if they would have done that before shit went completely left. One thing for certain though, Lucci's forever stamped in the hood. He stood up for his fallen friend Nut. He got his house shot up twice. His car was shot up. His mom got hit. He got stabbed in jail and almost lost his freedom for life, but never said a word. Let me know what y'all think in the comments section. Also, don't forget to hit that like button for me so this video can reach more people. It's on Now TV. I'ma catch y'all on the next one. Peace.